So now we're ready to put it all together. So this is video 10, and this is Jeff Byers. Welcome back, and we're going to go ahead and go to File, New in Photoshop. So I know a lot of you guys don't have Photoshop at home, but again, I think you have enough resources out there to figure out that Photoshop is up on the cloud, and you can get a 30-day free trial version of Photoshop to help you get through this. And if you decide to buy it, it's only $10 if you just choose Photoshop. Of course, they want you to buy the whole suite. You don't need to do that. You can get a $10 monthly subscription for Photoshop, and that's a pretty good deal. That's $120 a year. That is a really good deal, because normally Photoshop costs about $300 to $400 for a seat. So I want you to type your name in here, and I want you to call this Dice Construction. Okay. Alright, so this is our Jeff Byers Dice Construction sheet. You guys will follow along, and I give you the freedom, but I'm going to give you a setup. Now the freedom is you can choose your font, the way you move the images around, but I'm going to give you a very basic construction sheet that you can use over and over again for your construction sheets for everything that you're going to do. And you will be doing every single construction sheet for every single object that you create. So your food can, your dice, and your sci-fi crate will have the same construction sheet. So I start off with just a basic gray background. So I type in 50 charcoal gray, click on OK. It's nice to look at. If you do a bright color, it's very difficult to see your images, and it actually takes away. We're going to break this up into two sections. So I would basically go in here and show rulers. So go View and click on Rulers, so you can see you have rulers like me. And I'm going to click on the dark area here in the rulers and move that over. You can see that you can kind of divide this up. So we've got a size around 42, give or take. So basically we're going to divide that in half, so it's not quite 42. So I'm going to go in here to basically 22, 21, and go below that to snap right around there. And we're pretty close. So 21, 2, 3 marks over, and then I'm going to go down and break this in half. So this is basically just not quite 28, so we're talking about a little under 14. So we'll go ahead and snap that right around there. That's pretty good. Alright, so we're close enough. You're basically just trying to divide this up. So what we want to do is we kind of want to place all our images in here, and then have our fully textured piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the text at the top, and what we want to do here is, again, you can play with this a little bit, but I'm going to get you started. So to get a good grade, you can play, but I'm going to go to white, make it clear who I am, and the size is important. So I'm going to go ahead and type my name in. Don't go crazy with your the font. We can go back and mess with that. So basically you're just kind of exploring, and I highlighted that. I'm going to go a little bit larger, go 72, and I'm going to probably pick something that's a little easier to read, so I can go through here and pick the ones that I want, and sometimes you want to match like sci-fi or whatever, but I'm going to keep mine pretty basic with Arial. So I'm going to find basic. Okay. Okay, so find it. There we go. Arial regular. I know I'm boring. Okay, so there's my name. Okay, so I can place that in the center if I want to, and so in here I'm going to do another. This one's going to be called dice. Okay, and over here I need to know the poly count. So where that is. So maybe that is 35. Okay, this kind of lets your the future employer know, and let's go ahead and get that set up properly. Okay, get all that lined up properly. So let's the person know this is what you've created, and to make it a little more interesting, we can add more. So let's go ahead and do 150 on that. So that's okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's just type in 150. There we go. Dice. Make that a little more interesting. Pop that in there. Okay. All right. So once we get that done, we're going to go ahead and then add the rest of the images. So go to Open, go to the desktop because I know that's where they're at, and we'll go ahead and load those up. Okay, there we go. So let's pop those down. So this is our first one, and that we did with Marmoset. Okay. So what we do is just basically rearrange. I'm going to pop these over here. You're not going to see them right now, and I'll pull them in when I need them. Okay, so here's our first one. It's a wireframe. Let's go ahead and drag and drop that in here. Okay, and I'm going to minimize that. So I'm going to move that around so you can see that it matches our background really nice. So I can go in here, and what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to go in here and crop this image. So this object right here, this image. So I'm going to just use the marquee tool and really closely get it fitted around that. And I'm going to just erase everything around it, or crop it any way you want. Makes sense to me. And so I'm just going to crop around that, and you won't be able to see what I'm cropping unless you make the background white or something. So I'm going to do that so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, off. All right, so let's bring that back in there and turn the. And you won't be able to see the text, but we will be able to see this. So I'm going to go ahead and crop this as close as I can, just real quick. And we're going to delete that. Go. I'm going to just clean up that junky part. I don't need that. Okay. So select, and now we can move it into place and not have it bother anything else. So I'm going to kind of move that around now. So I can get it pretty close to the dice up here. That looks good. Alright, so there's my wireframe, and then I've got my my normal map on shaded. So I want that next. Normal map on shaded. Put that in there. And we will do the same thing with that one. We'll crop that and do a quick job of that. Just crop that. And clean that up. And I'll probably put the white back on again so make sure I don't mess anything up. Alright, select, deselect. Okay, so you can see that we're kind of running out of space, so we kind of need to maybe figure out a way that we can share this space a little bit better. So I'm going to just kind of move that to the side a little bit and work with that. And then we want the specular, okay, so we're going to on shaded and the normal map on shaded. So we have both of those. And a lot of people would suggest that maybe you don't need to show this one, just the wireframe and then this one. But I'm going to go ahead and do both so the person that is looking at my work can see what I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there and crop what I need to crop for this image here. Alright, so now I can move that around. So now I'm just kind of moving things around, making them look interesting. Alright, let's move that around. Alright, so you can see that we don't want to, break into it, but we want to see a really nice piece. So I've got my piece here, and I'm going to move this guy over here. Whoops. So that's up there. And that's in the middle, and this is going to be at the bottom here like this. And I'm going to turn that off so you can kind of see what we got here. And that's kind of how you can kind of position things to make them look interesting. We can also place something like that if you want to. Place them around. Okay, and move this one over here, or a little bit closer over that way. We could do that. Okay. We could scale them and have them all here. A lot of times, because the dice is the same all around, we don't need to show the front and back. Okay, so once we get this placed where we want it and we're happy with that, we want to make sure that we have a nice big image of the final render. And so I'm going to pop this guy in to here and go ahead and finesse him, and he's gonna occupy the biggest space. So I've got to make sure the rest of these will work with it. So again, I'm going to go ahead and crop this, and so once I do that, we'll be good to go here. And I'm going to turn that white on again, so make sure I get everything taken care of for this image. And then we can kind of scale and put these things where they fit the best. So I'm going to go in here and move that around, and this is going to be, I'm going to do Control T and make that a little bit bigger. And I need to make sure I hold the Shift key down. Okay, we don't want to distort it. There we go. So there's my final dice, and we need to move the rest of these around so they'll fit inside this space here. So I'm going to turn the white off again. Okay, hit Enter first. Turn the white off, and then I can kind of make adjustments here. So I kind of like what I have. So I'm going to kind of erase this here so it's a little closer, so I can get pretty close to this object. There we go. So I think what I have to do is I have to make these a little bit smaller. So I'm going to start with the top one, Control T, and make that a little bit smaller, holding the Shift key down a little bit and moving it around, and hit Enter. I'm going to do the same thing with the next one, Control T, and scale this down a little bit, holding the Shift key and Enter. So, and then the next one, Control T, and making this smaller. There we go. So we'll have to kind of finesse a little bit so we can get it the way we want it. Okay. And I may want to kind of mess around with these a little bit. Maybe put this one over here, and then this one down here, kind of keep that one up there, and then see, that one's there, and that one is over here. Okay, it's going to be a tight fit no matter what we do. There we go. And so I'm going to probably cut or carve out a little bit here on this one, so I can get as close as possible with that. And then this guy right here, get a little closer to this. Okay, and I'm going to cut over here, probably a little bit closer over here. So I'm going to move this guy over here a little bit more, so I give more room for him. Let's move this guy up a little bit and carve out more right in through here. There we go. That looks good. So we kind of got a nice looking, we got our wireframe, normal, and specular. So I'm going to go ahead and the thing is, I don't need to spell these things out. I kind of know that, what they are. So I'm good with that. I could probably move this one down a little bit, to kind of make it, I don't know, center a little bit. I think we're okay up here. That's fine. Got some weird empty space right here. So I might choose to put my poly count down here to fill this spot up here, so it's not so strange empty spot there, and just kind of move things around a little bit, kind of equalize things out. So I can put my name, maybe my name would be better served down here. There we go. Then maybe put the dice on the top. Just kind of even things out a little bit. And I'm going to click on this guy right here and probably erase some spot up. There we go. Okay, so you don't have to have everything like equal. Like, I don't know, like this kind of would be better over here. Kind of, I don't know. It just feels better. This works a little bit better. I'm going to put, make my name a little bit bigger down here. Okay, and 150. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that out, and that's my construction map. Save that out to the desktop.